Jay,
Yes.
can you define cockwomble?
Cockwomble.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. No.
Cockwamba. Sorry, cockwamba.
Cockwamba.
Womble.
A cock wannabe?
No, I was right. Cockwomble.
No.
It's a noun. And it's prevalent currently.
Two?
No, it means a completely useless person that spouts constant bullshit.
Ah, we have one in charge.
Welcome to GayTalk 2.0, the ultimate podcast for your dose of dish.
She's got to die tonight. She is
We
going
weren't
to...
talking about you.
Oh!
I mean, it's not far off.
It's not far off. No.
She thought it was about her. Oh.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome back to another episode of Gay Talk 2.0, an LGBT podcast. We are streaming live on our YouTube channel for all of our Patreon supporters. You get the show recorded live and in color on the day of recording, which is today.
It's not always all about you, Tom.
Someone's in her
bitch.
feels.
This bitch.
Yeah.
Anyway, my name is Tom and I'm your host. And as always, I'm in the studio with my two indelible bitches, starting with the first one.
Hey, y'all. Nick or Trish.
And
J Bear, a.k.a. your boyfriend's boyfriend. I think I should have finished that saying, we have one in charge of our nation.
I think that would have been
That
better.
would have been
because,
better
because I was
she
just
felt
like,
attacked.
I attacked, girl. You buried me in my backyard, and not even 6 feet.
I probably would have said like something like, "There's someone at the table," or like, you know what I mean, like trying to give him some hints.
Oh my God! I was like, okay,
Oh,
okay,
in your feels.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
girl.
I know it's one of those months,
I'm
years,
hunting.
weeks.
I'm hunting. I am holding space for my emotions, and I have been for the past 12 days. We'll speak a little bit about that later. But before I get into me, let's talk about you. So, Jaybird, how are you?
Oh shit!
Yeah,
We
you're-
started with me today.
Cockwomble.
Cockwomble.
Is that what it was?
Cockwomble.
I can't remember. I
Holy
can't
shit.
believe I remembered that. But how are you, Jay?
I don't know. I wanted to go to like Urban Dictionary just to see if it was some sort of new position I wasn't aware of.
It is actually.
It
He's
is.
in office.
It's an office. A new position in office.
Is it something that you do in an office?
No.
Well, someone
Someone
does.
does.
Oh, okay. Cockwomble.
Yeah.
So how are you, Jay?
Not bad. Not bad. Decent week, I guess. With this past weather we've had, it's
Oh
been
my
a little
God.
nuts.
It's fucking brick.
Yeah.
So, dear Mother Nature, I'm over it.
Yeah, ready. I think it's gonna be 40 on Sunday. That's like
I'll take it. That's summer.
Yeah,
Are you
shorts.
kidding me?
Short weather.
Shorts and a tank top and a
Shorts.
fucking sunbed outside, just sitting,
Yeah, no,
chilling.
Yeah. Yes, it's been okay. I just haven't been able to see Mom because it snowed both weekends. So I try not to travel up there and pick her up.
So when you say up there, how up there is she?
She's up. Well, from my house, it's about a 25-minute drive.
Oh, okay. So, but
she's
you have to
almost
go.
at Waterbury.
Yeah. So when you go up that
Yeah,
way,
Route
it's like
8 and, yeah.
the Waterbury people always get the worst of all the storms.
Yeah, they get crazier
Yeah.
storms, and we'll get a couple of inches. They get a foot. You
Yeah,
know,
right.
it's-
Because we're by the coast and they're not.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
know.
So it gets a little nutty. So I haven't seen her in a
Does
couple of weeks, and
How nutty does it get?
how nutty does it get?
Look at Trisha's face.
Yeah.
She's,
So yeah, that's the only downside to it, to be honest.
Right.
Other than that, I don't mind staying home and just relaxing.
it's always nice, right? When it's super
Yeah.
cold to be able to have a cozy home and you just sit there and just watch.
Watch TV and
yeah.
eat stuff you don't want to normally make because you're bored, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
You just sort of kind of get that comfortable food. You watch, TV. Like, I really didn't do much this weekend. I mean, I've done a lot over the course of the last 14 days.
Yeah.
But overall, like a Saturday, I pretty much did that, right?
Yeah.
Nick and I were together actually on Saturday. So I'll toss it over to you. How are you?
I'm fine.
What did we do Saturday?
I overdosed.
I overdosed.
She did not. She's being
It was a
Facetious.
hyperbolic.
Hyperbolic.
internal joke.
Yeah.
No, we hung out, watched a pretty crazy movie. I ended up staying over because the weather was bad. We basically got snowed in together.
It was actually really good.
Yeah, no, it was a good movie. for
Yeah,
sure,
no.
yeah.
So we ended up watching. So there's a new movie. If you're an Apple TV Plus subscriber, it's called The Gorge.
And it's something I would have never watched, but we were looking through previews, and we played that one preview, and I was like, okay, it's totally interesting. Do we have to pay for it? He's like, no, it's free. I was like, let's do it.
So The Gorge starts Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller. So Miles Teller was one of the actors that played in the Maze Runner series, right? And he's done other things as well. Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. And then Anya Taylor-Joy was in The Queen's Gambit. She's done a couple of other things, and it was actually a surprisingly good movie.
Yeah, and that's like not normally what I go for.
Right.
No,
right.
like at all.
So,
But you know what I have to say? There are some people, and like Steve is a great example of this. They get hotter when they age.
Which Steve are you talking about?
We know which one I'm talking about.
Deli meat Steve. Deli meat Steve.
Salami.
Let's call salami Steve.
Okay.
Give me your sausage. It's probably Italian. But like this guy, sorry, what's his name again?
His name is Miles Teller.
Never found him attractive.
As a young kid, right? Even
as an
like
actor,
right?
growing up. And
He leveled up.
oh my God.
That's usually what happens.
Did he level
I don't
up?
know if he like even like had surgery or something, but like everything about him, he's fucking hot now.
Everything was delicious.
Yeah.
in
I mean, that
movie.
was one of the biggest reasons I think we watched the movie.
Yeah, because there was a scene in where he was taking a shower, and we were like,
Hopeful.
those abs, and no, but overall it was a really good
Okay.
movie.
He kind of looks like this dude from Grey's Anatomy a little bit.
Which dude from Grey's Anatomy?
The doctor that everybody was obsessing over.
Dr. McDreamy and Dr.
Yeah.
McSteamy? No,
Yeah, a little bit.
no. I know the actor that you're talking about. So the doctor that you're talking about is the one that played Derek.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Derek Shepard.
Well, at least in this picture.
McDreamy, I think he was.
He was McDreamy. The other one was McSteamy because he fucked
Yeah.
everything in the hospital.
Yeah.
So he was also in
that photo,
Top
yeah.
Gun 2.
He looks. Yeah.
Yeah. He was in Top Gun 2. He, spoke about, his work. Sigourney Weaver was in this movie.
Yep.
But the most interesting thing about this movie is that, and we realized this fairly quickly, you get dialogue in the beginning, but there is about a 40-minute part of this movie, an entire 40 minutes of no dialogue. It's them writing notes and showing notes to each other from afar. And I won't spoil it, but to be a movie where there's absolutely no dialogue, and we were like, Nick and I were like,
Yeah, we were sucked in.
we were invested. It's a good movie.
I thought it was a tell-all book about somebody's sex life, The Gorge.
No.
No.
No, that's Ward Street.
AKA Rochdale. The Rochdale,
The Gorge.
The Gorge. This is what it's going to be called now. Welcome to the Gorge.
The Gorge.
Oh my God.
I hate her. No, but I enjoyed myself. We had a really good weekend. And
Yeah.
what did we do for dinner?
We did.
Oh, the breads.
Yeah, we did the breads.
Yeah, and Salami came over.
Yep, Salami did come over.
Yeah.
That was an
Nice.
interesting conversation.
Yes, it
we
was.
do not need to mention it on the
No,
show.
not at all. Not at all.
Oh,
We'll tell you after.
Yeah.
After. Yeah. We have to, protect in some way, shape, or form the privacy and obviously the confidence and being
So anyway, speaking of movies,
Yeah.
Wow, she is on fire today.
actually, one that I did watch, which I thought was really cool on Netflix, the 688, which is a really good movie.
I was looking for it. So I was talking to Kenny, our friend Kenny, and
What is that about?
It's about the women's regimen.
Yeah.
Kerry Washington is the lead in the movie.
Yep.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, what's the other actress's name? She was in The Help.
Ebony.
Oh God, no. Olivia Spencer. I think she's in the movie. I thought she was.
Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah Winfrey. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So it's basically during one of the wars. Which one was that? I think it was World War II.
Yeah.
So they have females that were in the military, but they weren't black females. So
They weren't being
African American,
used.
and so
Okay.
they were just there and they were going through basic training, but that was it. None of them were given any assignments.
Right.
And they kept pushing for assignments, and then they gave them an impossible task. So basically, morale was falling with the troops because everybody was writing home and nobody was getting any letters.
Right.
And all the letters were just were piled sky high in the hangars. So basically, they gave them an impossible task to sort through the mail and get it delivered. It's a really good movie. It's one of those kind of fun movies to watch that
And I mean,
doesn't have a lot of craziness going to it, but
and it's Olivia Pope.
Yeah, no, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Miss
It's a
her.
lot of
Kerry
good.
Washington.
I
is
literally
awesome.
was talking about this to somebody else. I was like, I hope there is like an Olivia Pope on our side working some magic right now.
Oh, girl, there has to be. There has to be. That was one of my favorite shows.
I know.
It was a little
so good.
freaky at times, but my God, was it such a good show.
I know.
One of my favorite characters was Huck.
He was great.
Yeah, and it's actually happens that he's actually gay in real life.
Yeah.
The character, the actor who plays Huck
Okay.
in Scandal.
So, side note, this past Monday, we all had the day off.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
Well, we did and we didn't, but yes.
And we
did.
celebrated 1 through 44 and then 46 and totally forgot about 45 and 47, which is perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just honor the greats, the ones that,
That count.
that count. Yeah.
I mean, there are some between 1 and 45 that I'm like, eh.
Yeah, but you know what? They
At least like
held up their oath of office, at least,
in most cases.
We've
yeah.
got someone right now that literally said, what is this pricing thing that's going on in New York City?
The tariffs.
The toll
The
pricing.
toll. Yeah, there's a new toll in the city. So if you're coming in from Jersey
If you're going into Manhattan, period,
Into
between the
Manhattan,
hours
yeah.
like 8 and 9,
during business hours, basically,
you get a surcharge.
it's basically you're driving past the toll and it's like a $9 fee.
It's like an extra $9 on top of the toll.
Yeah,
Like,
like a congestion toll or something. That's what it is.
that's
yeah.
what
That's
it
not
is.
a national thing.
No,
No,
it's
it's
only
not.
in New York City. They just implemented it.
Yeah, they're trying to get people to take the train.
Yeah.
And so what ended up happening is that Donald Trump just signed an executive order banning that in New York City, and then he posted it on his Truth Social and said, I saved Manhattan, all hail all
hail me, basically.
All hail the king.
all hail the king or something like
Yeah.
that. I was just like, what the fuck?
So I've actually been watching some of the videos of like taxi drivers and people that work in the city that are literally parked on the entryways to the tunnels to get out of the city, waiting for 901 and taxis.
Right.
Literally waiting for 901 to cross because after 9 o'clock they stop billing you
Right.
that fee. So it's insane.
And so anyway, so yeah, it's just a hot mess.
It's a shit show.
Yeah.
It's a
But
shit show.
yeah, overall, I mean, it was a nice Saturday. For me, it was actually a good, like how would I say, distraction.
Mental break, yeah.
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 I didn't know if I was going to or if I should talk about it.
I mean, live your life. It's up to you.
But I think I'm going to, and I think only because I think that having a conversation like the one we're about to have, fair warning, it might be a little Debbie Downer, is important because it just allows me to convey information that I've learned. I've learned so much over the last 15 days. My mother was hospitalized, not this past Friday, but the Friday before last. And she went in and they did some analysis. They did a CAT scan and they came back to her and delivered the gut-wrenching news that she has cancer. And initially, when they tell you something like that, you don't know how to react, right? And her immediate reaction was to break down. And we were all there, obviously, and it's not an easy thing to hear, but, you also don't know. Like when doctors come out and say, oh, we had a CT scan, and by the way, you have cancer. They really can't give you no more than that, right? And so she went in, and then the following Wednesday, they did a biopsy, and they biopsied a piece of the mass of whatever it is that they found.
Biopsy.
The biopsy, yes.
The
Oh my God, I fucking love that movie. They came back and said, it's definitely cancer. And at that point, even then, they still weren't sure what kind of cancer it was. And so finally, at some point throughout this whole ordeal, she's been in the hospital, obviously trying to cope with the news and the pain and everything that comes along with that. It was finally determined that it was ovarian cancer. And, she has cancer cells spread throughout her reproductive organs. Obviously, this woman had 3 kids. She's 68, super strong. As you can see, we spoke to her today. She's super energetic and in good spirits, but it's a very hard thing to hear.
Mm-hmm. And to digest.
Yeah.
But also the going back and forth, the waiting game, the uncertainty, the anxiety that comes with that.
Let me tell you, I have been pepped up for like 9 days straight, sort of kind of, because my mother has 3 boys. My oldest is always an emotional wreck. He lives with my mom's. He's always with her. He's closest to her. I'm a little bit more removed. And then my little brother just had a baby 2 weeks ago. Right. And so he can't really leave his house because the baby's not immunized yet completely. And so he doesn't want to be going into a hospital and then bringing something back to the house. And so the task of being calm, collected, and composed, as always, falls on me. And so I relied on my friends, and conversations and joking and trying to keep myself to the point where you have to be strong.
Yeah, and I gave you tequila on Saturday.
Yeah, that worked. That definitely worked.
and stuffed breads.
And stuffed breads. Oh, they were delicious. And but anyway, so this past Tuesday, they had scheduled a surgery. They were going to cut her open, get rid of everything that she obviously is not using anymore. Her ovaries, her fallopian tube, all of that stuff. They were going to get rid of it. But before they usually do that, they will go in with a camera and sort of kind of try to confirm what it was that the CAT scan revealed. And so, the day of surgery, Tuesday, I was there at 6 a.m. She was brought down somewhere around 8:30 in the morning. We met with the doctors. They explained what they were going to do and blah, blah, blah. And there's like this text messaging service that sort of kind of gives you updates as the procedure's happening. Mm-hmm. And she's at, the Smilo Cancer Center at Yale, which is
a great
facility, world renowned. And, so they put her down, she went under.
They did not put her down.
They went under anesthesia. She went under anesthesia. Andrew, the anesthesiologist, was just amazing. And very informative and very comforting. And, and throughout all of this, she was just in good spirits. She's just happy-go-lucky, cracking jokes and blah, whatnot. And, they put her under and they wheel her away, and we had to be ushered into this waiting room. And the waiting game starts, and then we're getting text messages, she just arrived in the OR and we're about to start the procedure. And we were told the procedure would take 4 hours. And within an hour and 20 minutes, we get a text message. We're wrapping up, we're about to bring her back into, recovery. And then you'll get another text message. And I'm like, it's only been an hour and 20 minutes. What's going on? So they brought her back. They brought us in. We sat with the doctor. We met with the oncologist. And basically what he said was, that when they went in with the camera, they did a small laparoscopic incision. And they went in. They were able to observe that the cancer actually spread far more than they thought, and that they initially saw in the CAT scan. And so therefore he wasn't recommending surgery immediately. And so they stopped, they shut it down. And instead, they're going to put her on chemotherapy. And so she'll have a couple of rounds of chemotherapy, and then we'll go back and reassess and see where she is. And if things are shrinking and everything looks good, then she'll go in and have surgery to remove all the unnecessary organs that she currently is holding on to. And needless to say, I'm like, what the fuck?
Not an easy process.
And
not an easy process. Yeah.
It's not easy news to hear, but it's like, my family, there was a lot of people that were visiting throughout the whole, course of this. They're all staring at me like they're waiting for me to break the fuck down. And I'm like, I can't. Like, I can't afford to, because y'all all doing that for me, and this woman needs someone to be strong, right? She needs someone to keep her in a positive state of mind, because half of the battle is staying positive, right? And anyway, so, in having conversations with the doctor, he explained, the cancer that we now know she has is ovarian cancer. And the majority of people who show symptoms of cancer of the reproductive organs, specifically this one, typically won't manifest itself until it's at least at the stage 3, which is significant and concerning, right? But he goes, given the new treatments and new, techniques, between 80 and 85% people who are diagnosed with this type of cancer actually go through a successful treatment and into remission.
And let's be honest here. I mean, your mom is one of the strongest women I've ever met.
Who you lying?
I mean, she raised you, which
speaks volumes.
Yes.
Takes a lot.
She's little, but she mighty.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm scared shitless.
Yeah.
Mainly, because obviously I'm fearful of losing my mother. She's young. She's 68 years old. So much more to live and experience, and but also for my siblings. I mean.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. And not to make light of the situation, but something did come of it. I mean, you met someone.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, I did. I was on Grindr while I was sitting on the hospital. And so,
I come over on Saturday and I'm like, who the fuck are you texting? And he's like, Dex. I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Well, we're gonna call him Dex, but it's really, his name is not Dex. No. I've been conversing with someone who works at the hospital, who at the time when my mother wasn't there, my mother was on the other side of the hospital when we were just having conversations, not knowing what it was, and then we find out, it's cancer, and then they moved her to the Smilo Cancer Center. He happens to be a nurse at the Smilo Cancer Center.
Lucky you.
So we connected based on, conversations. He's like, why are you here? And I started explaining, my mom's here. This is what's going on. He goes like, oh, well, if you need me to go check up on your mom, just let me know I can do that, you know, and blah, whatnot. And so we connected in that aspect. And he seems like a super nice guy. I haven't seen him in person. We've never met. I'm thinking that, you know, I may reach out and say, hey, let's go grab a bite to eat or something.
Yeah, well, I think what I found the funniest about the whole thing was he offered to, you know, stop by, see your mom, like help out, check in. And your response was, I'm pretty sure you shouldn't meet my mom before you meet me.
Exactly. Because, I mean, she's got nurses. By the way, my nurses loved. There's this one nurse, her name was Maggie. And nurses love my mother. They're going in, oh my God, your mother's the greatest. Are you kidding me? It's like she wants one cereal. They bring like 12 and they just stash them. I'm going to put them in the closet, okay?
Do you have any fear in regard to the new budget that was passed when it comes to Medicare?
I do because, you know, more now than ever, firsthand experiencing something so devastating as having someone say to you, hey, your mother has cancer, and understanding how costly treatments can be and how impactful and how devastating this could be for a family who may not have the means to have this type of care and procedure covered.
Yep.
It could be devastating. Yeah, of course. I'm terrified.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't care. I will go bankrupt if I have to, you know,
Obviously.
make sure that she gets the care that she needs. But
I mean, they have programs and shit, but
no, of course. But she's in the best hands, and you know, I am optimistic that tomorrow she'll start her first treatment. That, you know, she'll respond well, you know, and again, you know, having a conversation with the doctor, he was saying, you know, between 80-85% of people respond immediately to treatment, and then we'll be able to obviously go through the process and end up in remission. But then there's always that back of the head, you know, fear of what if she falls in that 20%, right? And how much longer am I going to have? And then you start thinking like, oh my God, what haven't I done? What do I still need to do? Like, oh my God, should I get her a passport? Should I take her on a cruise? Should I, you know, you start thinking about all these things, like, you know, that you sort of kind of pull it off because, you know, life gets in the way. And then you realize, wow, in seconds, right? She went in with tummy ache to the emergency room and she's been admitted and now getting treatment for cancer.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In a split second.
Well,
and so all I want to say is that, you know, while the news is devastating, don't be scared. Have very involved conversations with your doctor. Read up on it. There's a lot of information, a lot of resources out there that will educate you, and support groups. I learned so much. For situations like this, you just never know. Expect the unexpected, and you know, it is what it is. She's, like I said, she's in good spirits, and tomorrow will be her first chemotherapy treatment, and shortly after she will be released and she'll be home.
What is her main concern with the therapy?
So her main concern with the therapy, interestingly enough, she goes like, so am I going to lose my hair? And I said, mother, well, that's something that, you know, unfortunately it's one of the side effects of going through chemotherapy and radiation therapy and all of these different therapies. She goes, oh, I'm not worried about losing my hair. I'll just put a nice little rag on or whatever. I'm definitely not wearing a wig because my mother has very thick hair. So she goes like, all I hope for is that once I'm done through this and I'm going to beat this, I'm going to beat this into submission. Okay. But when my hair comes back, it better come back nice and fine and beautiful. And I'm just like, this bitch.
I mean, that
She's
tracks.
got a hell of an attitude. I gotta
she
give it to
does.
her.
She's something else.
Yeah. It was nice that, you know, had a little chat with her just before we started, and
Yeah, we did.
she's in better spirits than I am.
Oh, I'm telling you.
I think,
You know,
Yeah.
and thank you both. You guys have been very, you know, checking in on me, and all of, you know, my friends that have been calling me, and you know, my boss at the bar sent flowers, which I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck he knew my mother's last name. But
he's a creepy fuck.
yeah, he is.
you know.
David, creepy David. No, Dave owns the bar. He owns
Send that to
Partners.
Chico's mom.
Yeah.
They'll get it to her. No.
I'm assuming this is how the call went to the house. They're like, hello, is there someone with a son named Chico there? That mother's there. I need to send flowers. Find it for me. Chico.
He knows.
Chico's lost weight, but
Yeah.
he's still not that small. Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I saw him walking.
He's as smart as a box of rocks.
I saw him walking in the atrium of the hospital with Grindr open, showing everybody, trying to like geo-find nurses, doctors in the hospital.
He knows so many people. He
does. Dave is
He
very
probably
well
knows.
connected.
Yeah, so he probably just made a phone call to somebody at the hospital.
My mother called me
Hey, by the
yesterday.
way,
She goes
yeah.
like, it's like 7:45 at night in the evening, and she's like, I just got flowers, and I'm like, flowers from who? And she goes like, I said, show me the card, and she shows me the side where it gives the business name where the flowers came from, and I'm like, no, the other side. And then when I read it, it's like it said, wishing you well wishes, get well soon, from Partners,
Oh, yeah.
which is very nice. So
That's nice of them.
yeah, I was shocked. I
Yeah.
was shocked. But anyway, that's been my whirlwind of a week and a half.
It's going to continue for a while there.
Yeah, I know. So, but I'm fortunate enough to have the support of you guys and all my friends and family that has been calling and being in the hospital. Like my aunt's younger sister, my mother's younger
Excuse
sister,
me,
my aunt,
sorry.
that woman, she hasn't left. I'm like, go home, go shower. You stank.
Is that the one that comes here with her granddaughter?
Yes.
All the time?
Yeah, I was like, you're a little
she's-
right
yeah,
there, okay?
I can see her doing stuff
Yeah,
like that.
she's something else. But,
Yeah.
but that's where we stand. And I wanted to talk about that today because I think it's important to recognize that news like that can turn your world upside down in a second.
Oh yeah.
And I'm here to tell you that you're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, I talked about it last week, right? I mean, it's like we're constantly inundated right now with the dumpster fire that is America, and we're managing that, right? And then we have our work lives that we can't just give up on when we're feeling exhausted or overwhelmed and stressed out. But then the reality is we all have personal lives, and we all have things that we're dealing with every day outside of dumpster fire and work. And it's like, we just need to be there for one another. We need to make sure that we're supporting one another because burnout is real, and exhaustion is real. And if
Mentally and I think a lot of times we forget mental exhaustion. I think is way worse than physical exhaustion,
It is.
because you literally, if you're not careful, you will shut down.
yeah,
You will shut down. All you want to do is sleep.
you'll be sick.
And you'll be sick for no reason. And I've dealt with it. I've dealt with it where it's, I just want to sleep and don't bother me. And no, I'm not hungry. And I don't want to do this. And no, I don't want to take a phone call. And it's complete shutdown. So, it's, you got to take care of you. Unfortunately with us, it falls on us to take care of our parents.
Right. It
so
does.
Sometimes we don't get that chance to,
And especially with us little bisexual and gay boys,
know
mothers
it
know
is,
we're
yeah.
gonna own. They will always be the only significant women in our lives,
Absolutely.
and so they know.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we do have to go to break at some point, but I'll say this: if you're in the New Haven area and you ever find yourself in need of being in the hospital, navigating downtown
a
New
guy?
Haven, I know a guy.
I know.
Yes, I do. No, navigating downtown New Haven can be very scary. Trying to find parking and situations like that can be very scary. I just want to tell you, in the Air Rights Garage, when you go in, there are signs. If you are visiting, if you're a patient or you are visiting someone in the hospital, you go to the 4th or 5th or 6th level, and there are specifically designated parking spaces past this little machine that re-images your ticket.
Yep.
Where you go in and you park, and it's $1 an hour instead of $4 an hour. So, make sure that, keep that in mind as you're trying to navigate and see loved ones who are in the hospital. It'll save you a lot of money.
Yep.
My first night I parked at the Air Rights Garage is $4 an hour. 8 hours later, I was like, what the fuck?
Charge it back to your mom.
So, I'm like, Ma, charging you.
I'm charging you.
So,
Actually, never mind. I have your money in my account.
Actually, so here, one funny story, very quick. So, part of the process of having someone, being put under anesthesia is obviously, what happens if something doesn't go right, right? People could have adverse reactions to anesthesia. They may not wake up. Someone can pass away in surgery. There's so many ifs and things that can happen. And one of the things that, I was able to have a conversation with one of the nurses was, being able to become someone's medical proxy or power of attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And the importance of understanding what that means. And so throughout the past week, I went through the process of becoming my mother's legal power of attorney and also a medical proxy. And some of the questions that they ask her in front of you is that you do realize that by giving him power of this, and that you're giving him power over your finances, power over your, making decisions if you're incapacitated in any way, shape, or form. And she just looked at her and she goes like, he's got all my money in his checking account. He technically doesn't need this. I mean, and it was true. But that's another thing you want to think about, when you are, because you never know, you may need to actually make decisions for someone else.
That conversation with the nurse, if it were me on the other end, would look a lot different with you signing that paper.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't.
Yeah. No, but interestingly
Sir,
enough,
he's got plenty of brain activity. He's just having a hard time waking up. Pull the plug. Pull it. Just pull the plug.
He's done. He refused to get me a jacuzzi.
I didn't give her, her prick
Her hot tub.
in time.
Oh, I was talking about the reverse. If it was me in the hospital.
Oh, you in the hospital? Yeah. She was mad at me because I didn't, she yelled at me the other day. Cut her off.
Mm-hmm. Cut her off.
Shut. Pull the plug.
Wait, hold on. Wait. She's got to record on her phone how to record the show, and then
we can do that. No. So, and then one last thing is that if you do need to go through the process of trying to become someone's medical proxy or even, inquiring about becoming someone's power of attorney, those services are available in the hospital. So I was able to speak to a social worker who guided me through that entire process right there in her room. Yeah,
because if you have to go through court, they charge you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So something else to think about. That was a lot to get out of my chest. I haven't spoken, aside from you two, and a couple of family members about that.
It's always a lot.
Yeah.
It's always a lot. There's a lot of info.
Yeah.
There's a lot to process. You're still going to be processing.
Oh, God. Girl. All right. So on that note, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gents, welcome back from the break. Thank you for letting us refresh and do all the good things that we do on break. And we're back for the second half of the show. And, Apple, fuck you. That's all I'm going to say. And the reason why is because... So I don't know if y'all noticed, but there's this whole thing called continuity with Apple. And like, if you have different screens everywhere, you can sort of kind of like use your mouse to sort of navigate through things. It also includes iPads and phones and God knows whatnot. And my freaking mouse is stuck on the iPad, which is the controller for the video cameras. And I can't get it to go to my computer. So I can't talk about
fucking interns, man.
The stuff that I want to talk about. And I'm like, oh, this is so frustrating. But anyway, we're back.
Wait, what the fuck is happening?
I don't know.
It's broken. You're broken.
Honey, I've been broken for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That's not news. That's not news. So anyway, Jaybird, do you have anything that you want to contribute while I work on my
on your issues?
On my issues.
Let's see. Oh yeah, why doesn't my Siri light up when I talk to her?
Your Siri? Oh. Yeah. So Jay's a little
I think
jelly.
I'm behind. I think I'm behind.
So which iPhone do you have first and foremost?
One.
Well, yeah, I still
Actually,
have
he
that
still has his original
Yeah,
iPhone.
that's
I
my
know.
original.
You sent the picture.
one. Yeah.
Well, you know what I find interesting?
Where the fuck?
How do you guys feel about flying right now?
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Don't
so
even.
can we talk about that? Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay, yes.
That is some fucked up shit.
Mhm.
Everything that's happening, like all of a sudden, and like
It's scary.
I want
It's
to, I
scary.
want to wholeheartedly like blame this on the Trump administration. I'm not defending them.
No, I mean I'm blaming them. So on average,
Remember my old coworker when the tornadoes hit, Jim? Fucking Obama. He used to blame everything up. The tornadoes hit. We had a hurricane. Everything that went wrong.
or the
Even with the
gays.
weather, yeah.
The
he
gays-
would blame, he
the
would blame it on Obama. It's Obama's
It
fault.
was the gays.
He was such a Republican, but
Well, I saw a meme earlier. Clearly, there was one gay holding up all the planes in the air, and
Yeah.
we're missing him. Where are you, Pete?
Pete.
But on average, so the 5-year average of plane crashes over the past 5 years before this year was 38 a year. So in 23, there were 30 accidents from commercial operations worldwide versus 42 accidents in 2022. We are in February. It's February 19th. We have hit, I believe, as of like earlier, there was 2 today, I think. And so we are at 8. But this has nothing to do with the mass firing of hundreds of FAA workers.
But so here's the thing.
we're
That-
already shorthanded as it is.
Yeah, no, it's actually very alarming to see, how things have transpired over the course of the last 6 weeks. I mean, we had small planes go down. We have had the plane that went down in the Potomac River close to DC, where people lost their lives. It crashed into a helicopter.
Yeah.
We have had a plane, Delta Airlines
Yeah.
in Canada,
Canada.
that landed on what it seemed like ice and literally like lopped over. The wing fucking went God knows where, and it flipped over, and you're seeing videos of people being pushed out of they were like, we felt like hanging bats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we were hanging from our seats like bats, and once you let your seatbelt go, you would drop.
You were dropping,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And there were people, I mean, there was that flight in Alaska that also disappeared mid-flight. And it took them a couple days to find them. I think
It's
that was like
insane.
another 10 people. It's scary to travel right now.
Yeah.
Actually, I have family that's traveling at the end of March to Hawaii, and they invited me, and I'm like,
Yeah, I'll pass. Hard pass.
I don't even think I want to travel to PR, and that's a quick trip.
yeah,
Right
no.
now, I'm kind of
Yeah.
standoffish about flight, and it shouldn't be. I mean, I know it's been very prevalent recently.
But do we think it's like a scare technique or like it's just like something to distract us? Well, yeah, I do. But at the same time, like, this is fucking nuts.
I mean,
Yeah.
in all honesty, and again, I don't want to appear as if I am defending this administration. I just think it just happens to just be coincidence.
You do?
I do.
Even with all the flying? Firings?
Well, I mean, obviously, if you're shorthanded, things are going to fall through the cracks. And so you'll have, things that may happen that ordinarily wouldn't happen if you're fully staffed.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that.
So as far as reported incidents, according to Newsweek, there have been a total of 62 aviation incidents in the month of January and 25 so far for February.
Oh my God, Apple, can I have my fucking mouse back? I'm fucking losing it.
It's just absolutely insane.
It's insane. That's 87 incidents in 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately we've already lost quite a few lives.
Right.
FAA people being fired. They've been short-staffed at all the radio control towers nationwide,
Right.
and they don't see this as an issue. The incident with the helicopter and the airplane,
Right.
this fucking shitbag fucking blamed it on DEI hires
Right.
I know.
off the back, and the pilots of the helicopter, with no formal information whatsoever except just hearing there was an accident and it involved a helicopter and an airplane. You know, it's like
It's scary.
It's
It really is. It really is.
it's crazy.
So just to bring a little bit of like, lightheartedness. I don't know if this would be considered lightheartedness, but did you see the fake AI generated meme of a Spirit Airlines trying to take off and Air Force One landed and they were like, you got to wait for VIP.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
like, I'm sorry, I don't have time for this shit. We're flying to Orlando.
Yeah.
And he just takes off.
Yeah.
Life.
Where are you going? Orlando. Sorry, we don't have time for this.
I laughed so hard at that, but it's scary. It's scary. And, when you think about what this administration is doing, they're gutting all of our agencies left and right, all over. And again, the smoke. I keep saying this. They're throwing so much at us so fast, all at once, that we can't focus on any one thing. And it's fucking pandemonium.
Yeah, and I think, all this shit they're throwing at us is insane. What I'm worried about is what they're not talking about.
I'm having a moment. Sorry.
What I'm afraid of is stuff they're not talking about, stuff that's not being brought to light, because that's the shit that will affect us more than all this stuff. Like right now, I mean, yes, there's a lot of important stuff that's being affected, but you also have to remember in politics, there's a lot of smoke screens.
Right.
And,
They're trying to hide what their true intentions
and
are.
they're telling you, hey, look over here, while they're, taking your wallet out your pocket, your back pocket without talking about it. So, I mean, it's politics 101.
It's really scary, is what it is.
It's scary.
It's scary. When you mentioned this earlier, when they're doing deep cuts to Medicare, for example, and the impacts that has on low-income families or families in general, right? And when you think about, their attempts to defund things like Social Security, which a lot of elderly people live on, which, by the way, a significant part of these elderly people voted for this man.
Oh, yeah.
And when you think about, people in certain states that no matter what happens, you've got women on Facebook crying because their SNAP benefits are going to be taken away. But yet here they are.
With their MAGA hats on.
Right. And I'm thinking to myself,
fuck around and find out.
What
F-A-F-O.
exactly does this man need to absolutely do before you realize that it is directly impacting you and your life and your livelihood and your kids, your people, the people that you love, that you say you love, right? In your case, your family, right? They say they love you. But look at, for example, what's happening with PrEP. Right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know.
An executive order literally cutting funding for
gay men's health, period. Gay
Right.
men's health. Not just only PrEP. I
Right.
mean, all and every aspect of it.
every administration before this one has always said we have a goal to have a HIV-free society by 2030 or by 2040 or by 2045. And PrEP was on the precipice
Of doing that.
of getting us there, of being able to give people tools to protect themselves from potentially contracting HIV, and that would eventually turn, if not careful, would lead to AIDS that would then kill you, right? We were making such strides.
So
And people finally felt safe.
And they're
Right.
claiming that they're cutting the budget to restructure the infrastructure.
For what? For who? Where are
But-
you gonna
not
where are you
where-
gonna move that
Yeah,
money to?
but listen, they're paying fucking Musk $8 million per day
Right.
Yeah, in government contracts.
in government contracts. So why are you really cutting back on these programs
I
Right.
saw
that are needed?
I saw something the other day, and
So your boyfriend can build dick-shaped spaceships to send out into
I mean,
space?
honestly, I think we have we literally have what is Elon Musk's child's name? AEX
Axe.
X..325 pi
I don't fucking know.
weird like
Which one? He's
Last
got a
name-
few.
last name Tesla.
Is it the one that he's
the
yeah.
one that he had in the
that
White
he's
House?
using as a shield?
That
Yes.
that
The human shield?
the one that whispered,
told Trump to shut the
allegedly,
fuck up.
yeah, like you're not the president.
Hey,
Shut up. It's scary. It really is. And my thing is this, it's like, people are actively suffering because of the choice. It's not really just because of the actions of this administration.
Mhm. Did you boys hear about the girl in South Carolina?
Yeah.
She was having an ectopic pregnancy. So an ectopic pregnancy is when an egg is fertilized outside the womb, right?
Right.
So
no.
this egg was fertilized in one of her ovaries, and which requires immediate treatment,
Yeah.
immediate removal, to save both in some cases the human, but also the reproductive organs. And they were refusing to.
I'm sorry. I'm still looking for my fucking mouth.
They were refusing to give her surgery, and what actually happened was she posted a video on TikTok, which a lot of people responded to, and the most recent update I can find is that it was deleted from TikTok.
Deleted?
it was-
Why?
Don't know. Her video was deleted.
Can we find? Where's Rachel when you need her? By the way, Rachel, I've said this before.
I watched her last night a bit.
She's back 5 days a week.
Yep.
And when Rachel's back, shit's going down. So there is a service.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Shut your computer and reopen it.
Oh, no, girl. Will that work, do you think?
I don't know. I'm just
Let's
assuming
see.
maybe.
Oh, it locked it. And then everything shut off. Oh, now I can't access my notes. Please work. Thank you. Oh, you're a genius. Oh,
Sometimes you just need a hard reset, including the country.
I need a hard reset. The country needs a hard reset. So anyway, you were saying.
I mean, I was just floored that this woman. I mean, they're the whole thing with overturning Roe versus Wade and not
Right.
providing medical care was about preventing unnecessary abortions based off of basically, unless it was a life-threatening situation, no abortions, right?
Right. So basically, they were trying to ban abortions on misinformation that women were having abortions just because they wanted to or whatever the case may be. But they don't realize the ramifications that a decision like that, right? When you think about the Dobbs decision that overturned Roe v. Wade and the impact that it has on women's health and reproductive, autonomy.
Yeah. Well, this poor woman.
Did she vote for Trump?
That I don't know.
And because that's the thing, you're seeing a lot of people now that are having buyer's remorse. Sorry, too
Yeah.
late.
Yeah.
You knew what it was like in round one because we've already went through this 4 years before.
Yeah. So, and the GOP is reintroducing the bill that's supposed to ban any type of abortion, period.
At the national
Yeah,
level.
because they're trying to make it. They're saying once a fetus is detected, it's considered a person.
But really, is it?
So I know there was a TikToker that made a valid point. So if it's considered a human being at that point, then you should be able to do things that you would with any other person that's already been born.
Right.
Take out a life insurance.
Right.
policy. So if the
Right.
They should
for
have
whatever
a social
reason
security
the
number.
fetus, so
Right.
if the fetus is lost, then they should be able to claim an insurance policy.
Right.
Right?
Or let me
Or-
let me start, writing them off on taxes
Yeah,
now.
writing
I
them
want my
off on
child
taxes
credit
now.
right away.
Yeah. So
Right away.
I mean, it's they're so
but-
and they
but-
fall behind this, Marxist religion because
Right.
that's all it is. It's not actual religion.
Right.
It's such a hype.
But I mean, when you think about it too, it's like if we're talking about, if a fetus is a human or considered, I don't know, an entity at conception, part of that conception process is having sperm get in there. So would sperm be considered?
Oh, there's a whole thing about that too.
Oh, did you hear
Do
that?
you know what I'm
one?
saying? It's like,
Yeah.
so
they're trying to pass a bill to supposedly.
there was a woman in Texas
Yeah.
that actually submitted a bill and said, okay, since we're going down this route,
Yeah.
so if you think that, a fetus is, a human at conception, then let's talk about sperm.
Yeah, she was trying to pass a bill to ban.
Jerking off.
Yeah,
because you're technically masturbation, you're killing,
You're spilling seed.
you're spilling. You're
This shit is
you're
fucking
massive.
scary.
And so here's the thing. So a male human
I thought Russia was
can
bad.
can spew and spill out
Thousands?
thousands and thousands and thousands of sperm in one shot. And so if we wanted to get technical, while you were trying to impregnate a woman with just one sperm, you killed thousands and
Genocide.
thousands. You committed genocide.
Genocide.
So,
Oh, at least
So
Trisha
can-
eats
can-
genocide. Look at her.
What?
Yeah, probably.
No, this is another thing that I can't talk about.
You're trying to
we're-
commit
we're-
genocide on that?
so while we want to talk about, like, has a man
It's-
committed genocide, even like having natural intercourse by the woman
Only one egg.
getting rid of,
And on that rare occasion, too. And that's about it.
or three,
Or three.
or if you're the octomom, you
Yeah.
might have
that's a whole other.
6 or
Shit show.
8. No, but so I mean, it's
Imagine if all those eggs took.
oh my God, how can a woman have 1,000 babies?
Well, look at the way some of these animals reproduce.
Mm.
I want,
I'm just saying.
you know what I'm
this.
saying? I
It's
mean,
like,
it's insane. It's insane. I'm
we
going down a whole other.
Yeah.
we have gone back
Wormhole.
so much. And last night, after I got back home from the hospital, I needed to watch something inspirational.
Is that why you didn't respond to my text?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it was a negative?
Pornhub.
Mm.
Yeah.
Inspirational.
No, that
No.
wasn't what I was talking about.
Okay.
And so I watched On the Basis of
Only
Sex.
fan.
Okay.
On the Basis of Sex is the help me out here. Dramatized? Did I say that right? Nick? You're the white girl here. Correct me.
Dramatized?
Yeah. Dramatized. When you take something and you embellish it a little bit to make it a little bit more dramatic, right? Present a true life story, but
Sure, I'll let you use that word.
okay,
Yeah.
good.
We'll
Then
let it slide.
Yeah.
we'll dramatize. Okay. Well. So anyway, so I
I'm gonna
watched
start a book.
of all the words that I come up with on the show.
Yeah.
GayTalk terms. We had one.
Yeah.
No, but so I ended up watching On the Basis of Sex, and it is the story of Ruth Bader Ginsburg in her young years, trying to find that one case that would actually allow her to prove that the many laws that existed in the U.S. were actually sexist and were discriminating based on sex, right? And so when she writes her first brief that she is then
Based
going
on the
to,
definition of sex. That
On-
was defined by the Supreme Court.
Yes.
right, and so when she submits her first brief, right, her first argument, one of her clerks or people that were working with her at the time, one of the secretaries that was writing the brief for her, comes up and says, not for nothing, but I wrote this for you, this 40, 50, 60 page brief for you. But the one thing that keeps coming back, sentence after sentence, paragraph after paragraph, is the word sex. And it's a bit distracting. And then Ruth, the actress that plays Ruth, looks at her and says, okay, well, what do you suggest? Dramatized?
There it is.
Okay. So it's not dramatized, it's dramatized.
Yeah.
We got to work on a book for that, okay? The Puerto Rican version of that shit. But anyway, the interesting thing was, and she just looks at her, she goes like, well, why don't we just, instead of using sex, just use gender? And so the word gender was introduced into the legal jargon of America way back in the late 60s and early 70s, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg was arguing cases against, the circuit courts and the Supreme Court of the United States, and actually won. And it was inspiring to see the work that this woman, who dedicated her entire life to justice, not only for women, but for all genders. And it all started with a case that she used a man to gain freedom for women. It was genius. And to see it all played out on the screen, the reason why she used a man was because he was being discriminated against based on his sex, because he filed on his taxes a tax exemption as a caregiver for his mother. And the laws in most states at the time and at the federal level said that most caregivers were typically women in the home. And so she said, by standing with that definition, what you're saying is that this man, who didn't choose this, right? He wasn't married. And so therefore he didn't have a woman that could take that role, the woman that was expected to stay at home to take that role for him and watch his mother and take care of his mother and be the caregiver to his mother. So he was a bachelor who happened to be thrust into this whole thing about, now his mother is incapacitated. He needs to take care of her. So he wrote it off on his taxes as a caregiver, and therefore he was eligible for a deduction. And then he ended up getting, dinged for it and sued and prosecuted for it. And so she went out and she advocated for him and used that as a means to gain rights for women. It was genius, because she goes like, you know what? I can't get their attention fighting for women's rights, but if I throw a man in a case and say, you are violating this man's rights based on his gender, I can gain gender equality for women. It was fucking brilliant. That woman was amazing. And you know what makes me sad most of all is the fact that she laid the groundwork for such an amazing argument.
Such an amazing future
that would take us into the future. And we are sitting here and doing nothing. We're allowing this man, this president, and this oligarch that is Musk, to bring it all down. She is rolling in her grave. Literally,
that's why I'm not sure watching that would be inspiring.
It was inspiring.
It would be more it would be more depressing, for me personally.
It was inspiring for me because, for me, it showed me, it reinvigorated my ability to conceptualize the hard work and the fight that it took to get what we had and to see it all go away. Right? And what other women will now need to do to step up. When you think about, for example, Sonia Sotomayor, when you think about Elena Kagan, when you think about the women that are currently sitting as justices on the Supreme Court, Ketanji Jackson Brown, right?
Yeah, but he's just signed an executive order yesterday trying to
circumvent the judicial. And I think that, these are going to be the people that save our democracy. Mm-hmm. I hope. I hope that we have people out there that were as tenacious and were
He did
as
that. He literally did that executive order because he kept getting blocked.
Yeah.
right. Well, and now someone's going to challenge it, and hopefully, justice will prevail.
Yep.
But it was a good movie if you get a chance on the basis of sex. Watch it.
Yep. I watched Dexter last night, and I was just
Oh, she wanted to talk about murder.
Murder.
Yeah.
It was inspiring.
Dexter was.
I feel inspired.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Somebody said to me the other day, they were like, what happens, so we were talking about, ICE and all these fucking roundups and they were like, well, you're kind of safe, they said to me. And I said, what are you fucking talking about? Gays are next on the list. And they were like, yeah, but you're a cis white gay. I was like, yeah, but I have a podcast.
Yeah.
With Puerto Ricans.
No, it's not you guys. It's the
They're gonna
shit that comes
deport
out of
us.
my mouth.
Yeah.
Right.
Literally, it's the shit that comes out of my mouth. And I will stand by it until the day I gotta put a purple triangle upside down on my fucking shirt. But
Oh, yeah, we're definitely moving targets. Are you kidding me? We're going to be rounded up on day one.
well, not day one, because that's past and eggs are, at an all-time high.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Did you hear there was an egg heist?
Egg heist, where?
40,000
Cartons of eggs or something?
were
Oh,
stolen.
great.
out
They're going to
of,
go up to $30 a dozen next week.
No, and I think they've hit more than one place.
It's just,
Yeah.
I can't.
We're living. Adele Givens. Gotta love that fucking comic. She was
Pennsylvania
genius.
egg heist. The 100,000 eggs were snatched from the backs of Pete and Jerry's organic distribution
At least they went
trailer
organic.
on Saturday at 8:40. Yeah, it's crazy. They stole all these eggs and they just kind of. I mean, who's gonna secure eggs, right? In a warehouse.
It's a world upside down.
Yeah,
That's
but
all I gotta say.
it's weird, but and kind of funny. But I guess it's gonna be painted potatoes for Easter this year for the grandkids.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yo, it's
We're gonna
insane.
we're gonna have to get rocks and paint them
Yeah.
with a big word "fuck you" and just start shooting them at this administration. Look at me trying to screen touch my computer.
It's not
Oh, I
Steve's
did that
computer.
earlier too.
Oh,
I'm glad you guys didn't
hate 'em.
notice.
all right. Well, on that note, I think we should wrap it up. So I'm gonna toss it over to Trish because you have what's coming.
All right, everybody, here's Mama Kim's Minute. But in breaking news, Trump's health department launched a new and vile anti-trans website featuring right-wing influencer. Just check it out. It's on advocate.com. All right, Mama Kim's Minute, everyone. Number one, Massachusetts is the second largest city is now sanctuary for trans people after toxic culture accusation. Number two, Google erases Pride Month from the calendar app.
Fuck you, Google.
Number three, judge orders Trump to restore CDC website on LGBTQ plus healthcare.
Good for the judge. Now I'm confused about the first one. Massachusetts is the second largest city.
No,
Or you're-
Massachusetts,
the
second largest city.
So Massachusetts, the state, has the second largest city.
No. The second largest city in Massachusetts
Okay.
became a sanctuary city.
Do you see news people why it's so important to like grammatically put things in ways where everyone can read them?
Yeah, some of us are stupid.
Like her.
I understood the same thing you understood.
Right. I was like,
Massachusetts,
Massachusetts, the second largest city. I was like, that's a whole fucking state.
Well, it could have been the way I said it.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts is.
Let's try that again.
It
Massachusetts.
should have been Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Massachusetts, second
But
largest
that's
city.
not how you say it, though.
Yeah.
It's Massachusetts.
The second largest city in
city.
Massachusetts.
Yes. Maybe I just needed to put a longer pause.
Maybe just a little bit, comma, right?
Massachusetts, second largest city.
There you go. That works. I love it.
You
So
lose our
which is
us
the second
Spanish
largest
girls real
city?
quick.
We've got Boston,
Springfield.
Springfield.
I think it's
gotta be.
Worcester.
Worcester?
I think it's Worcester.
Worcestershire? No, it's Worcester. Second largest city. I would have guessed Springfield. Worcester, Mass. Imagine that. Middle America. Because it's right in the middle of the
Worcester.
No.
Worcester.
All right. Well, thank you, darling. All right. Jaybird, over to you.
All right. On this day in gay history, brought to you by us, Gay Talk 2.0.
By you.
Honestly, it's kind of brought to them by me and you.
And you and us.
Not me.
February 19th, the year 1974. Oh, my year I was born.
You sure about that? Okay.
Well, we're going to say that. Where? New York City. What? The Pat Collins Show, a morning program in New York's WCBS, broadcast live from the Continental Baths. The station only receives one compliment about the episode. What the?
Compliment?
One complaint. Oh, you changed stuff on me while I was reading.
No, I didn't.
You just threw me off.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, see, I knew somebody was like,
One complaint.
The Pat Collins Show, a morning program on New York's WCBS, broadcasts live from the Continental Baths. What are the Continental Baths?
The Continental Baths were the gay bathhouses that existed in New York City, which, by the way, featured greats like Bette Midler and, oh, God, what was her pianist at the time?
Her pianist?
Her pianist. Oh my God.
Elton
He's
John?
Super like known. Oh my God. Barry Manilow. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Barry Manilow was Bette Midler's pianist at the Continental Bathhouse. That is where she first started when she arrived from Honolulu, Hawaii to New York City.
See, we would know. We'd go to Tom and ask. He would know about bathhouses in New York City.
I never went to the Continental Bathhouses. I wasn't even born back then. Actually,
her fetus was there.
No, my sperm was there.
Your sperm was there.
I was a sperm.
He was getting dragged along.
All right.
Somebody's chin.
Tom.
Somebody's chin.
It's me?
Yeah, it's you.
No, it's not.
No, it's not?
Oh,
No, that's
fine.
not Tom.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Jay.
Yeah, they just never update stuff.
I do, but he doesn't copy the right shit.
Yeah, the interns, you know.
And
If you love the show, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting service. By subscribing, you get the latest and greatest of our show delivered right to your favorite device or web browser as soon as the episode is published. You can also support us on Patreon. With Patreon, you, our listeners, can help to support the show with a pledged donation. The donations are collected monthly and can be in any denomination of $1 or more.
Trisha Yearwood.
All right, everybody.
Thank you.
Get the Future Method and all other products today. All products are doctor developed, can clean out without hurting your bum. Take confidence anywhere with the anal powder packs. What is so funny?
You just smacking the shit out of my board.
was
I
loud.
just love it.
Increase your stretch goals with the 3-piece anal glass dilation kit and get all the information you need with Dr. G's book, But Seriously. Visit futuremethod.com to purchase your life-changing bum accessory today.
Alrighty then.
Go
So I
for
guess it's time to put a ring on it.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Let's put chemo on it.
We're
going to get rid of that shit.
So our show is available on our website, gaytalk20.com, under audio podcast. It is also available as a free download on Apple Podcast, YouTube Music, and Stitcher Radio.
Goss Queen.
Oh, you can find us on social media. I'm on OnlyFans. You can find us on social media. Facebook, GayTalk 2.0. Instagram, GayTalk 2.0. You can email us at GayTalk2.0 at GayTalk20.com. Tom, take it away.
Try not to fuck it up. That's what you meant to say. All right, ladies and gents, I want to thank you all for joining us on tonight's episode. If you need to reach out to us, just head on over to our website. Click on the Contact Us tab, which is located at the top of your web browser. There you can leave comments, you can suggest topics, or make suggestions. questions. You can submit a question for the cast or an individual host. You can also give us a call and leave us any questions you may have on our voicemail. Our phone number is 334-429-8255. Don't forget, like I said before, we do stream live for all of our Patreon supporters on the day we record the show, live and in color, and you can access the live stream on YouTube. And for all others, it is available the following week. I want to thank you all for joining us on tonight's episode. That is our show. Thank you, and y'all have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Gay Talk 2.0. Tune in next time for more dish.